Welcome to Haverchat, a Haverkamp culture cast where we take you behind the scenes here at Haverkamp Group. Hello everyone, my name is Todd Wiesenberg and I am the Chief Culture Officer. And we are excited today because we are on episode number 6 out of an 8-part series in which we are introducing you to the various men and women in our organization who make up the leadership team as executives. Last episode we had Jessica Mortweet, who is the Chief Marketing Officer, as our guest. And today we have the Principal and President of Haverkamp Investments, Chris Lenoir, as our guest today. Welcome, Chris.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Glad that you're here as well. All right, so we're going to dive right into it, and we always want to get our audience to get to know who our guests are, and I do that through what's called the 4 F's, and that is the from, the family, fun, and future. So let's start with the from, because you have a very unique story in the sense of Haverkamp itself and the leadership team. So yeah, from, like, born and raised, your journey here, anything that you're willing to share with us.
Yeah, so I was born in Bakersfield, California. And Todd, as we were talking about before, I'm the only one on the leadership team who wasn't born in Iowa, I believe.
In all essence, or raised in Iowa. So that makes you very unique in our leadership team.
When I go back now, it's changed a lot and I would never live there again. So I now call Iowa home. Yeah. But I was born in Bakersfield and moved here to Iowa, probably mid-90s. So it'd be high school time. Period.
Okay.
Yeah. And lived in a little town that is affectionately called the Armpit of America, known as Council Bluffs, Iowa.
I didn't know that nickname existed for Council Bluffs. How did that come about?
Well, it's considered one of the worst places to live in the country.
Okay.
And it's cleaned up considerably over the last 10, 15 years. I don't know if that's still called that. When I lived there, everyone called it the Armpit of America and wore it as a badge of honor.
All the locals wore it as a badge of honor. Okay,
yeah.
Okay. So you were in Council Bluffs, and then what?
Yeah. So spent high school there, and then once I graduated high school, I spent a couple years in Omaha. Went to Metropolitan Community College, working on basically a art and 3D design. So graphic design, 3D animation type stuff, and didn't really enjoy that. Found out I was colorblind in that process. Didn't know before. Somebody held up one of those little circle charts, it's supposed to have a number in it. I still think people are lying. There are no numbers in any of those.
You have trust issues.
I have trust issues. Yeah, I doubt. I think it's just a big conspiracy.
Okay.
And then, so eventually then moved to Ankeny, Iowa, where I went to Faith Baptist Bible College, got a pastoral degree with a minor in Greek, and then eventually went back and got my seminary degree in advanced systematic theology.
Okay. Kind of a unique journey from that standpoint. So in that, as far as the professional journey is concerned, so what got you introduced to the Haverkamp Group?
Yeah, great question. So I went and did my summer internship when I was in college, my last year, and I moved away, and then I came back. And when I came back, I kind of came a week early. I spent 2 days canvassing for a job.
Okay.
And because I worked full-time through college, I've worked a full-time job since I was 16 years old. And so I worked full-time through college as well. And so I was looking for a job because I'd given up the one I had before. And at the end of those 2 days, the place I had worked at before doing graphic design, a friend of mine called me there and said, "Hey, we have a customer who said they're hiring. And he said, if you're interested, you should stop by a little store on Hickman Avenue in Des Moines." And that happened to be an Amco transmission. And Paul Wilkin was there that day. And he just interviewed me on the spot. I had no resume. I didn't fill out an application. He just talked to me. I kind of told him the situation, what was going on. And then that was it. And then I went home. And the next morning he calls me. And he's like, "Yeah, if you want a job, you can go ahead and can you come in this afternoon?" I'm like, "Well, technically I'm like 3 hours away. I'm not actually coming back for a couple more days." He's like, "Yeah, well, just whenever you come back into town, stop by." So I started out on the retail side, retail management group, specifically working with the Amco transmissions. And so I started out driving what they called the route truck. We would rebuild transmissions in Huxley, Iowa, and then we would take them to all the Amcos. And so I would just drive the truck in the evening. So I'd come in like at 3 p.m, drive around to all the stores, pick up transmissions, drop them off in Huxley, pick up the ones that have been rebuilt, then go deliver them. It was kind of a dirty job, picking up, 100-pound transmissions, some of them broken, oil coming out. You get drenched in transmission oil. And so I did that for a little while. And then one day he's like, well, hey, you want to come work in the store? And so I worked in the store. And it wasn't too long before I was like in the store by myself. And so I knew nothing about auto repair. And so in order to do this, there used to be something before YouTube and the internet that people would do. You go to a bookstore. You remember those days, Todd?
Bookstores, yes, I'm familiar with them.
It's hard to find a bookstore anymore, but they're still out there, I think. And I picked up a little book called Auto Repair for Dummies. And so what I would do is the mechanic would be out in the shop. He would tell me what's wrong. He'd write it down. I would ask him questions, and then I would go hide away in the manager's office, read the book to look it up, and then I would go and sell the repairs to people who were coming in. And I was really good at it. And I credit that to the fact that I wasn't a mechanic and I just talked everyday language. And because I was trying to translate technical jargon into the average person, because that's the only way I could understand it, I was able to, sell $2,000 auto repair jobs on transmissions.
Nice. Wow. I didn't know that part of the story. I mean, I knew the origin story of, being a part of retail management group and driving the truck, but I didn't know that part of the story as far as managing and auto repairs for dummies. What was it?
Yeah, auto repair for dummies.
All right.
I don't think I have the book anymore. I think I left it at that store eventually. So even I just kind of worked my way through that. And so I then became a store manager, and then we opened up a series of stores in Eastern Iowa. So I moved to Coralville and I opened up 3 AMCO transmissions. And it was in the middle of that. It was the spring of 2008. Paul calls me up one day and he's like, hey, I need to talk to you right away. And I'm like, well, I'm in Iowa City. He's in Huxley. He's like, so what do you propose? Well, there's a little steak restaurant halfway between here and Iowa City. Can you meet me there? And it's like 4:00 in the afternoon. So I drove and I met him there, and he kind of told me that the long-term plan was to fully transition into commercial real estate for the entire company, and that the retail side was going to slowly be fading away. And he brought me on as kind of his right-hand man to kind of help him through all that. And so a couple months later, I moved back to Huxley, and I had the job title of, you tell people whatever your job title needs to be to get it done. So I was sometimes chief operating officer, chief financial officer. Sometimes I'd even play the dummy and play the mechanic. Whatever it took to get the job done, I made it work. And so in that process, and when I share this story, you have to keep in mind, I have never had a college level math class. They do not require math classes for pastoral degrees. Okay. You have to learn ancient Greek, but you don't have to take a math class.
All right.
I then had to learn how to do accounting on the fly by just asking Paul questions and then kind of researching what I could, because the internet now existed at this point where it was readily accessible. And I was self-taught how to do accounting, specifically QuickBooks Online, because the plan was we were going to have every store manager buy their own AMCO. And then I would go in and then teach them how to do accounting, and then eventually payroll and HR, and how to make a budget and how to make the store profitable and prepare these individuals for buying the store so that, we could divest of that. And so that's how I learned accounting.
Wow. I had to write down on my paper, and this will also play out as we talk further, but you love to learn, don't you?
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, and you seem to be able to adapt pretty quickly, learn pretty quickly, and catch on to things pretty quickly. That's why Paul wanted you to be that right-hand person for him there.
Yeah. I don't know if that's what he would call it, but it was a means to an ends.
Means to an ends. Okay. So you did that for a while. Then what?
Yeah. Well, as we were winding down the retail management side, Haverkamp Properties was picking up pace, and that was 2008. And, Brent picked up some very half-built properties, as you remember.
Oh, yes.
And things were really picking up speed at the Haverkamp side. And Paul's like, I want to make sure we find you a spot in Haverkamp because, I've probably proven myself,
right,
on the retail side. And he's like, I don't know what you're going to do, but we do need to completely rebuild the accounting for Haverkamp. And so he said, I want you to come in. And by the way, I don't know if I can share this or not. I took a $20,000 pay cut when I moved from the retail side to Haverkamp. and I still stuck around.
And you still stuck around.
Yeah.
Why?
Because I believed in the future and where things were going.
Okay.
Like I saw the vision, if that makes sense. And I was like, I want to be a part of that.
Right.
And so we did that. And so I came in and learned how to do property accounting. And over time, basically revamped the entire accounting department, took over payroll, IT, accounting, and built up a whole team from scratch as everyone kind of, we were kind of cleaning house, so to speak.
Yes.
And and then eventually things were just going really well. And then Jeff came on board, Jeff Bramble. Paul and Brent kind of exited Haverkamp Properties in a way.
Right.
And then that's kind of where me, you, and Jeff were the leadership team for a while until Jessica came on about a year later.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of things happening at that time, Chris, a lot of moving parts and pieces. And it was fun and still is fun to be a part of something that's growing and changing and evolving. So Jeff came on board. We worked on the leadership team for a season. Then what? You left Haverkamp Properties for a season.
Yeah. I mean, we implemented EOS.
Yes.
Things were going really well. I would actually say when I left, things were on a high note. I mean, things seemed to be in a really good spot.
Yes.
And so leaving Haverkamp was actually, honestly, one of the hardest things I've ever done. Mm-hmm. And so you kind of want to know what was going through my mind. Why?
Well, I remember you and I grabbed lunch at Dublin Bay right before you left, and we had some conversations. I'd just like to hear about that part of the journey, because then it leads into where you're at today.
It does. So there's a couple of things going on. One is I've never really enjoyed accounting. Mm-hmm. I mean, I can do it. I'm pretty good at it, but I don't enjoy it. Mm-hmm. And so here I was doing accounting, 8 to 10 hours a day, and just wasn't necessarily enjoying that. What I really enjoyed was being a part of the leadership team, leading my own team, those things,
Right.
And you can do that in all sorts of activities. The other thing was we were nearing a transition point in Haverkamp, and I was kind of bored, and kind of where I was that was looking at, I wasn't excited. Like when I would think like, oh, what am I going to, what could I possibly, I'm going to be financial controller. Sure, I could be CFO someday, but like, man, that just was not exciting to me at all.
Right.
I didn't want to do it. And then on the other side, I remember the pastoral degree. I mean, I was pastoring part-time at a church for like 10 years. And about that time, they also asked me to go full-time there. They wanted me to leave my job and go there. And then I realized like, man, I'd have to leave Haverkamp, and I didn't really excited about that. But so it was a good time of transition and everything going on that I said, this is a good time. Like if I don't leave Haverkamp, I'll never make that transition to full-time ministry, because I just enjoyed it too much. And so another opportunity came up at I'm not sure how much I want to share about that, but at Northwestern Mutual, there was a rep there who done really well over the years, and he had a wealth management, basically business he'd built, and a lot of Northwestern reps, they're great at, working with the public, great at financial planning, but not so great at running a business. And so he needed somebody to come in and run the business side of things and build the team and get things going. And so I kind of was upfront and I said, listen, I don't think I'm going to be around for very long, maybe a couple of years, because I'm planning on making this transition to ministry. And he's like, okay, I don't care, however long I can get you, let's do it. And so I went expecting to go do that for 2-3 years and then go into ministry. And that was kind of why I left. It was hard.
Right.
Yeah. I'll say this, like I'm not a crier, right? I'm a pretty like serious. I had tears leaving the last day at Haverkamp. That was a tough day.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But here we are.
Here we are.
You're back in the fold. Maybe call you a prodigal employee. I don't know what label I want to throw on that. But yeah, now talk about the journey that brought you to where you're at today with Haverkamp Investments.
Yeah, well, I had just finished about a little over 2 years at the other place. Things were going well. I took a lot of the things that I had learned and honed here at Haverkamp, changed the culture over there. It was a 180-degree turn in those 2 years, and things were going really, really well. And but I wasn't necessarily. Here's the thing: here at Haverkamp, it's very entrepreneurial. And having been there in so many things from the beginning, and having so many opportunities to kind of blaze my own path and do my own thing, I'm kind of an entrepreneur at heart. Like, I'm not a maintainer; I'm a builder. I want to go build and blaze a trail. There was no trail to blaze at the other place, and so I got bored again. And so I was looking for something else. And so that's when Paul, of all people, calls me up and says, hey, you want to get lunch? And I'm thinking he just wants to get lunch to catch up. So we get halfway through lunch. He's like, hey, I have an ulterior motive of why I brought you here. I'm like, surprise, surprise.
Shock face. Yes.
And he's like, we have this idea of where we want to take the company and 10x it. And the biggest thing holding us back is raising capital. And he's like, we have this idea of opening a brokerage. We don't know what that means, what that looks like, but do you have any interest in that? And so basically it's kind of asked, do I want to come back to Haverkamp in some way? And I said, well, I'm interested enough to explore it. And so we talk over the next 6 months. Haverkamp Group doesn't know anything about a brokerage. And yet, so we're like, let's figure it out. But that's my mentality. Like I didn't know accounting. I didn't know QuickBooks. I didn't know payroll. I didn't know IT. I didn't know auto repair. My history before that was like just jump into things. Like, I have the mindset is like, I think all of us, the most limiting thing in our lives, barring circumstances out of our control, is ourselves. We limit ourselves way too much. And each and every single one of us is way more capable than we probably give ourselves credit for. In my mindset, and I'm going to take a little bit of thunder because you're going to ask this later. It's like, what is my mission statement or something like that?
Yeah.
Here it is. Do hard things and exercise dominion. And I get that exercise dominion from Genesis 1, where God created male and female. Why? And he created us to have dominion over his creation. And so I take that as being serious. It's like, whatever little small slice of dominion that God brings in my path, I'm going to exercise that dominion to its fullest. Not for my glory, but for his glory. And so when I come in and I open a brokerage or take over an accounting department, it's like, that's my little area, my sliver of dominion. And I'm not just doing it for myself. I'm not just doing it for Haverkamp. I'm not just doing it for Brent, but I'm doing it to the glory of God to the best of my ability. And so do hard things and exercise dominion.
Through this process, there was a word that became a part of my vocabulary that I really didn't know what that meant. And it's an acronym, and that's FINRA.
Oh, yeah.
So I kept hearing that word. It's like, what's this FINRA thing? Talk about FINRA and how that applies to Haverkamp Investments, and then what that meant for you personally. Yeah.
So first thing you got to know, if you're going to open a brokerage, it's a lot of work. And if you think you can do it, you might want to really look and make sure you really can, because there's a lot of rules you have to work through. And most of them are regarding FINRA. So most people know the term SEC, Securities and Exchange Commission. So it's a government agency, regulates the securities industry, stock market, and stuff like that. But if you're going to work as in a brokerage or as a financial representative, you have to be a member of FINRA, which is a self-regulatory organization that basically brings a level of credibility and sustainability to those who are working in the securities industry. Basically, it's another level of safety to protect investors. And so that's why the SEC exists. And that's why FINRA exists. And so you become a member of that. And to become a member of that, they have high quality of standards that you have to meet. And some of that you have to take a lot of FINRA exams. And so even though I was working in the industry for a couple of years, I didn't have to have the exams because the way our system was set up over there. So when I came over and we said we're going to open a brokerage, I had to get all my exams taken care of so that I could be a supervisor of a brokerage, right? And so in 6 months, I got my SIE, my 63, my 82, my investment banking license of 79, and my Series 24, which is the supervisory principal exam, so you can run and manage a brokerage. And so I did it in 6 months with no prior experience.
And that is relatively unheard of.
I know people who got a 4-year degree in this industry worked in the industry for 20 years, and they struggle to pass some of those exams. And they're not easy.
Right.
I mean, probably 200 plus hours for some of those exams in study time. And then some of those exams are 4 to 5 hours long. And yeah.
This goes back to what I mentioned earlier, a quality about you. You're just a learner. You are a lifelong learner. And wow, that's great. So here we are today. And it's not just you. You have a team.
I do.
We were in a meeting the other day, and you talked about how you had this void for about a year, because you said since you've been working since 16, and even at the age of 16, you were supervising others.
It was, yeah. The McDonald's I worked at, for some reason, thought it was okay to leave a 16-year-old as a manager and start in charge of a store.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a scary thing to be in a McDonald's with the highest ranking person being only 16.
So that's been a pattern of your life as far as leading, giving, leadership to others. But over the past year, prior to building your team, you had a little bit of a void. Yeah.
Other than that short time where I was just transporting transmissions for Paul before kind of running a store, it was a year without a team. And there, I'm a big proponent. Even before we ever did EOS, one of my views was elevate and delegate. That was just built into how I think about things, and it has been for as long as I can remember. But not having a team, you got to do everything now. But what I missed about not having a team is there's nobody to pour into, nobody to help bring along, nobody to help see mature into the role that they could be, nobody to come along and encourage and say, hey, you can do that. You can go from, like in the case of Matt, from accounting to a placement agent selling securities. Like, you don't have that. And so it's kind of like, it's lonely when you work by yourself.
Yes.
Haverkamp Investments is an affiliate company of Haverkamp Group, but it's more isolated than all the other groups. And that's because the government requires that for regulations. There has to be a level of separation between Haverkamp Investments and Haverkamp Group to protect investors, and rightfully so.
Yeah, makes sense. So you mentioned Matt. Who are some other members on your team that you've brought on?
Yeah, Jim Hansen. He was a longtime friend I'd met at church a long time ago. So we got to reconnect and bring him on. He brings 20, 30 years of experience in the securities industry, very knowledgeable, and really good at people. So works really well. And then we did something that is unique and new in Haverkamp.
Yes.
I hired 2 people who live in completely different parts of the country.
Yes. There's that trailblazer part of you.
You just tackle obstacles, right? You just find a way. We talk about Sherry being the core values, right? I actually think Haverkamp has Sherry has a last name.
Oh.
And it starts with S. Sherry S, in my view.
Okay.
Scrappy.
I
think the people who do the best at Haverkamp are scrappy. And what I mean by scrappy is no matter what happens, you'll figure out a way.
I think it's like more of a nickname. Sherry Scrappy. Yeah,
we can call her Scrappy.
Scrappy?
Yeah.
All of our close personal friends will start calling Sherry Scrappy.
I like it. So,
all right.
That's another way of thinking about it. And so then I hired another guy. So these 2 guys, one of them lives in Washington. His name's Craig Engelbrecht. And he'd been a longtime friend of Brent's from in the past. And so it was really good to see them reconnect and then get to know Craig. And then the other gentleman had already been working in the commercial real estate space with syndications. And he's in Utah.
Yeah.
So down actually southern Utah by
St. George, right?
St. George,
Zion.
Zion National
Zion,
Park.
yes.
So, and actually, ironically, 2 of my favorite parts in the country happen to be the Pacific Northwest and the Pacific Southwest. So, as supervisor principal, I have to go visit them once a year. So, I'm not sad about that at all.
Well, if you need a wingman, I like those parts of the world too.
Yeah, they're really nice. I'm looking forward to going hiking Zion again. It's been probably close to a decade at this point.
All right. We'll circle back to talking more about our values, some more about your team and our culture here. But I want to talk about the second F in our getting to know you, and that's your family. What would you be willing to share with the group, if you will, or with our audience about your family?
Yeah, I have a wife, Alicia. She is what's the nickname? Stom, stay-at-home mom.
Oh, okay.
Is that what I think that's the term people use these days? And so she stays at home. She homeschools our three children: Maverick, who's 16, Eve or Evelyn, who's 12, and Grace, who's 10. And so one of the fun things I've been able to do with my son recently is teach him how to drive. So
that's a fun thing.
Yeah.
For some, that's very stressful but fun for you.
It is fun for me. So my son is very serious. He's not like your typical teenager at all.
Where's he get that?
Probably from me.
Yeah.
And so he's very practical, pragmatic in those regards. And so teaching him to drive is just I tell him and he does it. So he's teachable and he doesn't get stressed out. And so it's been really good. So and my daughters are really fun. They my middle daughter, she like, I don't know. She calls me her best friend.
Oh,
so which is really fun. Yeah.
As a dad, man, that's awesome.
It is. So yeah, she loves to hang out with me. And the last hour before bedtime every night, she says, no, that's our time. So I have to sit with her every night for that last hour before she goes to bed, which is fun. We'll sit. Sometimes I'll read. Sometimes I'll do a little work. Sometimes we'll just sit there and watch, her favorite YouTube channel. So whatever.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's really good.
Awesome. So what are some things that you like to do for fun or your family likes to do for fun? Hobbies, passions, interests?
Well, if you ask my wife, she says, I don't like to have fun.
Oh.
So, because I am kind of serious. But really the answer to that is I get bored easily. Mm-hmm. Like I'm the kind of person like, you want me to sit in front down for 2 hours and watch a movie? No, thank you. Like that sounds, so it better be something I'm really interested in. So I like new experiences. And so whether that's traveling or trying out something new, a new activity, like for instance, earlier this year, I figured out how to build a laptop. Not a desktop computer, but a laptop computer. Why? Because I could, and it was fun.
Okay.
And so I put a laptop computer together and built it and made it work and loaded Windows on it. And then I'm going to load Linux on it later this year and teach myself how to use Linux. And so I'd like to do new things, learn things. Passion-wise, probably theology. I still dabble in that quite a bit. I actually got YouTube famous. I don't know, whatever you call it, for a little while. I developed a curriculum on angels and demons and stuff like that, which is very cutting edge and takes, I don't want to get too much into it, but basically I put it on YouTube and it continues to get 3,000 to 5,000 watch hours a month. I don't even do anything to promote it. I have people who reach out to me and ask me questions and want me to go and teach here and do that. And so that's just a fun thing to do. And it's a topic that a lot of people just really enjoy and appreciate. And then when I ground things in scripture, people are just like, oh, wow, that's amazing. I've always wondered about that. And I'm able to explain the verses that most people have like just kind of gloss over when they read the Bible because they don't understand what it means. So it's been a lot of fun. Other than that, my family likes to travel. My wife and I just got back from Alaska.
Oh, what'd you do up there?
We took a cruise up there and we went to Ketchikan, Juneau, and Skagway and saw the wildlife and did a lot of hiking and it was really fun.
You mentioned traveling. You've been to Alaska. Do you got a favorite vacation spot or something that's the most memorable?
I don't like to go to the same place twice.
Right.
It's probably because I get bored.
Right.
But there's the most memorable trip I ever took, and I don't like to mention it because I didn't take my wife, but I spent 3 weeks. I spent 3 weeks in Africa and the Middle East, going through Egypt, Cairo, Jordan, Israel, all those places. And I went, and there was a group of about 30 some people, but the pack in that I traveled with were all guys, and we just got into all sorts of shenanigans. And by shenanigans, I mean climb things we shouldn't have been climbing. So yeah, and I really enjoyed that. And so Did you ever watch Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So at the end, when they go into that building and they find, the supposed Holy Grail and all that stuff, I've been in that building. It only goes back about 20 feet.
Oh.
Most of that stuff's just Hollywood magic.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Makes sense.
So I really enjoyed that. Being in the theology and all that type of stuff. And one day when things cool down in Israel, I'd like to go back.
Okay. Future, our fourth and final F. Before we started talking here, I was reflecting with you. I had forgotten that we actually went to 2 conferences together, one in Las Vegas, one in Orlando, and I can't remember which one it was, but I just have this vivid memory of sitting with you in the lobby talking about the future of Haverkamp and what that looked like. And I don't remember exactly, the words that were shared, but, what I recall is feeling, both you and I feeling very optimistic, feeling very encouraged and excited. We've said it many times that healthy things grow, and we started to see a pathway of growth and things being healthy. As you think about the future today of Haverkamp, and somebody asks you that question, what would you communicate to that person about the future of Haverkamp?
I think it's bright. I think the path that has been laid by Brent and Paul and maybe you and I to some regard over the years is a path that was worth laying.
Yes.
And it's worth being traveled by those who want to join, and it's worth continuing to build and blaze new trails. And so anybody who's thinking about joining Haverkamp, I would say, unless you just don't like real estate, this is the place to be. There are opportunities for those who want the opportunities to be there. The company is going to continue to grow. I know some of the people have been on this podcast before talk about the company growing out from underneath them. And to some regard, there's that. But there's also plenty of opportunity to just start up whole new things. Look at Haverkamp Investments.
Right.
Todd, look at your chief culture officer, right? Who would have thought we'd have a chief culture officer 10 years ago?
Not this guy.
No. Who thought we would have had a brokerage, right?
Yeah, not that guy. Or
no. Or a farm management team, or the list goes on and on.
Right.
And so what's next?
Yeah.
And so I think there's a lot of excitement around this, and it's a place to be. For me, I don't see myself leaving anytime soon. I already made that mistake once.
I recall it was one of the first few days when you came back and started working here. You mentioned the importance of culture in the organization, and you even stood in front of several of us here and talked about that. How has culture impacted you, this company, from your perspective?
Culture is everything. It really is, right? In real estate, we say, what's the 3 rules to real estate, Todd? Location,
location, location.
Yeah. And I think for a place to work, it's culture, culture, culture.
Oh.
And it really is. I don't think, before I left, I don't think I realized how great things were here from a culture standpoint. The majority of people genuinely do not like where they work or who they work with out there. Not here at Haverkamp, but out there.
Right.
Being a pastor for a while, I got to be in all these different counseling type of things, and they say, oh, work's going on with this and this is happening. It's just like, that sounds terrible, but you don't really know how bad it is until you get out there. I left, and I kind of went to a place where the culture was the opposite of what it was here. And it was my job to rebuild it.
Right.
It was lonely those first couple of days, but then coming back here, it's just like, wow, things just haven't skipped a beat, and it just has gotten better. And so culture is key. I think if we ever lose the culture, we'll stop growing as a company.
I like to say that culture isn't just a nice to have, it's actually a business strategy. There's all kinds of studies out there that talk about, what you said, that, 2/3 of Americans would say that they're just surviving in the workplace and just, not enjoying it. They're not engaged, and only 1/3 of Americans are. And it is just a real privilege, blessing, honor to be a part of an organization where it is thriving. And you sometimes get isolated or don't realize what it's like out there, but it is just a joy to be a part of this. So I've never asked this question to anybody, and so kind of improvising here.
How would you trailblazer?
Yeah, I know you are a trailblazer. That's why I feel like I can be comfortable asking you this question. How would you define culture? Culture is, it's a word that gets used often, but how would you describe it? A definition.
There's probably a lot of ways you could describe it. For me, I would say it's the norms that the people in an organization have agreed to.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
It's not something that is taught. It's something who you are, but it can also be caught, if that makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
And so, like, you're probably in a little bit going to ask me, like, what's my favorite core value or all that type of stuff.
Yep, you got that.
And my answer is going to be, I don't think about that because I am those things. I was before we established them and had them codified. You either are those things or you're not. That's a character thing. And so culture is the character of the people that come together and see it for what it is and value it and want to continue to nurture it and see it grow.
Yeah, one way I like to describe it, and kind of amen to all the things you said there, but it's how a group of people think, it's how they speak, it's how they act, and all those actions eventually become the behavior or the character of the organization, and eventually its reputation. And so all those things are very much make a part of culture. But core values, I have to ask it. I know you are those things, and it would really be hard for me to, pick one of those 5 as, to describe you, but I did pick a couple of them. But when you think about core values, out of Sherry, the stewardship, the hard work, the accountability, the results driven, and integrity, you have to pick one. Which one's your favorite?
Scrappy.
Going back to the nickname.
No, that's not what you're looking for. But it is, to me, it is important. I think it's stewardship in a lot of ways. And that kind of aligns with my mission statement, which was do hard things. So you could say hard work, but exercise dominion. And that's taking stewardship of things, taking ownership of things. And cultivating it and making it grow. And so I enjoy that. If I just moved from a new project every couple years to build something and make it grow and then hand it off to somebody else to maintain it, I'd probably be pretty happy.
Okay.
So, but I want to steward that to the best of my ability and then bring someone along so they can continue to steward it.
Well, that's one word I wrote down for you. The second one, integrity, and knowing your past and knowing how much you, the ethics and the moral part of you. Integrity is also something that comes to mind when I think about Chris Lenoir. And then as you were talking, it's like, man, maybe I should have picked hard work, because some of those things I did not know about your story. So yes, you definitely are a hard worker. Want to go back to your team. Just give you an opportunity to just maybe highlight who's letting their Sherry shine. It's a phrase we use now, those who are living out our core values, and anybody that you really want to give a shout out to on your team.
My team's still pretty new. They've all started in the last couple months,
right? And
they're still learning how to do things and get things going. But I'm really proud of everybody on my team,
right?
I think they all continue to surprise and delight me, which is a good thing. Like with the ideas they come up with, the things they bring to the table. There was a unique moment where I was doing our first quarterly, and some of my team was just brand new. They didn't even know what EOS was at the time. And you got to realize for the last 12 months, I'd done absolutely every single thing. And so we're just talking about setting rocks and to-dos. And Jim just chimes up, like, I'll take that. I was just like, yes.
Good.
And so just to see people on my team really view stewardship. They get it. They understand what their role is. They have to be a steward in 2 ways. One, we have to steward well what it means to be part of Haverkamp. That's important. But there's another level of stewardship that they have to exercise. They have to be good stewards of every single investor that's going to invest in a Haverkamp Group property. And they are there, and they recognize they're there to connect people with the right investment. Not every investment is going to be perfect for everybody. We're not just out there selling people on whoever we can. We really want to make sure it's a good fit for them and that they understand what's going on so that they feel cared for and that they have a level of protection where they can trust us. And that's important. My team's really gravitating towards that. I got a couple other Sherry Shiners or whatever you want to call them to throw out there. Even though they're not part of my team, I have to work closely with them because it takes a lot of people to do some of the things that we do. One is Briar in marketing. Wow, she continues to just perform at a high level, digs in, learns things, put things together, whether it's working on the newsletter, ads, marketing materials, offering brochures, all that type of stuff. And I know, some of the changes I've made last minute, she has every right to be upset with me, but she continues to do it, and she at least doesn't grumble to me. So,
Graydon, does she grumble to you? Okay,
no, Briar
just had to
is,
check that.
Yeah, Briar is amazing, and I could go on and on. And her supervisor Jessica, obviously, chief marketing officer, she continues to be great with that. Josiah Opolka, I think that's how you say his last name.
Correct.
In asset management. And since day one, I one of the first things I did here was try to bring Juniper Square online. We bought it, we'd sat on it for months, and it was not making any progress. So I took over the project, helped push it across. Josiah starts in November. 2 weeks in, he's like, yeah, I'll take ownership of that. And he's just updating things for our current investor database. And I haven't had to really worry about it at all. He just digs in and learns. So those are some shout outs or Sherry Shiners I'm going to throw out there.
Awesome. In our meeting that we were in the other day, you said something. I'm going to paraphrase it because this is basically what I heard, is that the kind of philosophy you and your team have is you don't want to just make it transactional. No. You're not in it just to make it transactional. You want to make it transformational. I mean, and you said that you're not trying to sell to everyone and just get this transaction. You're trying to find the right fit that makes the most sense. And so to me, that sounds like somebody that's looking to be more transformational than transactional.
Absolutely. Yeah. There's an industry term we use, kind of boutique. So a boutique brokerage, so to speak. All that means is we want to keep things relationship based. We want to build relationships with people. We want to know who the investors are. We care about them. We're concerned about them, and we want them to ultimately also feel good about Haverkamp, right? It's a symbiotic relationship.
Yes.
When they enter into that.
Yeah. Anything new you want to highlight or just talk about before we transition to Haverchamps, which I know you're really excited about participating in?
Not really. All I would just say is, I think where we're going as a company, we are really unique in this space. There are a lot of real estate companies out there that are doing syndications, selling funds. We are doing things in such a unique way, which is such a unique opportunity for anybody who'd want to invest. It's a secret that I don't know how we continue to broadcast, but we just need to let people know it's different than what most people are used to. And I would just say to anybody who's trying to figure out what does that mean? Well, I mean, just give us a call at Haverkamp Group or Haverkamp Investments, and we'd love to just kind of chat with you a little bit more about it.
Awesome. All right. Chris, I know you're a competitive person as well, to some degree. And you are familiar with Haverchamps, where we have this rapid fire question, and it really depends on how quickly I can get these questions out to you. But you'll have 94 seconds to answer as many of these as possible, and Graydon's gonna keep score, and then we'll see where you fall on the scoreboard. I've got to remember to ask what the score is after we get done here. So, but yeah, you get the opportunity to answer, like I said, as many questions as possible in the 94 seconds. And the 94 seconds is significant because that is our 1994, recognizing the year that we started as an organization. You are allowed 3 skips. I think Jessica last time on our last episode was the first one to use all 3 skips. So if you get stuck, you can just say skip and I'll move on. Are you ready?
Sure.
All right. And then Graydon, do you have your clock ready? Awesome. Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Coke or Pepsi?
Pepsi.
Morning person or night?
Morning and night.
Beach vacation or mountain getaway?
Beach.
Do you prefer books or movies?
Books.
Pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
Never.
Would you rather cook or order takeout?
Cook.
Sunrise or sunset?
Sunrise.
Dogs or cats?
Neither.
If you could time travel, past or future?
Future.
Hot or cold weather?
Cold.
Comedy or drama?
Comedy.
Vegetables or fruits?
Vegetables.
Do you believe in aliens?
Yes, but they're demons.
Favorite board game?
I don't have one.
Disney World or Disneyland?
Disneyland, California.
What's one word that best describes you?
Serious.
Favorite Haverkamp core value?
Stewardship.
Favorite part about working at Haverkamp?
Culture.
Describe our company culture in one word.
Amazing.
One thing that always makes you smile at work?
Seeing other people smile.
Favorite company event or tradition?
Christmas party.
A skill that helps you in your job?
To-do list.
One thing about our Haverkamp company that you brag about?
People.
Most rewarding part of your job?
Everything.
Proudest moment in your career?
Haverkamp Investments.
One thing that makes a great coworker?
Trustworthy.
One word that describes the future of our company?
Bright.
Is that time? Okay. You know, some of those answers, though, I don't know if they were really answers because I guess they are technically answers. I mean, you responded, but neither.
Yeah, I don't like dogs or cats. I'm not a pet person.
Okay, and there was another one. You said both. What was that one on? Oh, that was morning person or night owl. You're both? Is that what you said?
Yeah, you wake up early and burn the midnight oil.
Okay.
I only sleep about 4.5 to 5 hours a night.
Oh, wow.
So I was being honest and answering them.
You were being honest. So you're just built different. You're just built different.
A little bit. Age is starting to catch up with me. Sometimes it doesn't work out so great.
You seem very passionate about the pineapple on pizza question.
Yeah. I worked in a pizzeria for 2 years, making all sorts of pizzas. And pineapple no, not at all. And I'm the kind of guy who actually enjoys tuna fish on pizza.
Oh, I've never
I could make you a tuna pizza if it's great.
Never heard of that before. Okay. And then you don't have a favorite board game just because you can't sit that long to play a board game?
I don't really enjoy board games. I'd rather play a card game that's super quick and fast.
Okay, so then what's a favorite card game you have?
Phase 10.
Phase 10.
Because there's 10 phases and they go through quickly.
Okay.
And I'm really good at it. Most people won't play me anymore.
Oh, wow. Sounds like a challenge. We should play some Phase 10 out here someday.
We should. That'd be fun.
Okay. So, what was the score?
28.
So where's that put him on the scoreboard? Or the
Place.
Congratulations. A new Haverchamp champ.
It was easy.
It was easy. I really tried to make sure I was spitting those out as fast as I could there. So
yeah, it was kind of fun.
So as we close, is there anything you wish you would have said today that you didn't?
I don't think so.
Okay.
So, is there anything you wish you would have asked me but you didn't?
Oh man, turning it on me here. I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean, I wrote all the questions down. I think I got them all. Graydon, should I have asked him something that I didn't?
I think so.
You think I did okay?
Yeah, you did great.
I was looking for some affirmation there. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. All right. At Haverkamp, we believe culture is built intentionally with care and growth. And we believe culture isn't just one person's job. It belongs to every one of us. So until next time, keep learning and leading.